Hi, friends. As you know, we are in the middle of our stewardship initiative. It's entitled On Mission, and we're spending this season realigning ourselves, focusing on the red letters of Jesus from the Gospel of Matthew in three specific ways. We have taken up Matthew 22 when Jesus was asked, "What is the greatest commandment of all 613 laws in Torah? What's the greatest commandment?" And Jesus said, "Love God and love people." Don't you love that? The second one is from Matthew 25. When the Son of Man comes in his glory, he'll ask a simple question: What have you done to feed the hungry, to quench the thirsty, to clothe the unclothed, to welcome the stranger, and to visit those who could use a little bit of care? And then Matthew 28 on Pledge Sunday, November the 19th, we'll look at Matthew 28, which says, "Go into all the world and share some good news. And remember that I'm with you wherever you go." Matthew 22, Matthew 25, and Matthew 28. I love Matthew 25. It's one of my favorite texts in all of the Bible. It helps remind me of why we are who we are as a church, that we need to be focusing on feeding people and clothing people and giving cold cups of water when we can. And when it comes to shelter and welcoming the stranger and welcoming those into our midst who need care, we have ways to do that with our chief community partners. One of those is Tara Davis. She's the executive director at Friendship Mission, and we love the work that she is doing over here just a few blocks from our campus. And like we do each year when we have conversations with our community partners, I want to introduce to you Tara, and she is going to be with us in worship this Sunday as well. So Tara, welcome. We're so glad that you're with us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me, Pastor. It's my pleasure.
Oh, we love it. Give us an overview about Friendship. It's Friendship Mission. What is the mission of Friendship Mission?
The mission of Friendship Mission is to feed the hungry, shelter those without home, to take care of people. We welcome strangers every day. Our doors don't close, and we work to help get people on their feet again.
Yeah.
When they've hit rock bottom, they end up at Friendship's doors. They literally have nowhere else to go. They may have family within a 45-minute drive or even closer, but they can't go there for various reasons. So they knock on our doors at the men's shelter on Mobile Highway or at the women and children's shelter on Chisholm Street. Or they get in line for our soup kitchen. They are living in extreme poverty. They might not have enough for medicine, enough money for medicine and food, but they know they can get a meal at Friendship Mission. No questions asked, no ID needed, just get a meal. Those meals are to go because of COVID, but they continued. Even in COVID, we never stopped. We just moved from inside service to a plate at the door. So people come every single day and get at least one meal. Most of the time it's two. And we keep moving like that.
Yeah. You and I were talking about this text, Matthew 25. Jesus said, "When you've done it unto the least of these, you've done it unto me." And that's an important text to Friendship Mission, as I understand.
It is. It is on our letterhead.
Okay.
It is exactly what we strive to do every single day.
I love that. Yeah, I think that's so important and part of the reason why I wanted us to be together. And lo and behold, we share this verse in common in so many ways. How many people are you feeding a day or a week?
So last year, we served 52,200 meals. So that's between the two shelters and the public soup kitchen. And we're inching up. There are so many circumstances in the wake of COVID that have caused more demand for our services, more demand for shelter, more demand for meals, or just outreach services, where we, even if it's something that we don't provide directly at Friendship Mission, we're giving out numbers for our partners who can help with whatever someone needs. So in a week, depending on which week, on one Sunday morning for breakfast, there could be 32 people in our soup kitchen line for Sunday morning breakfast. And then we have our 30 men at the shelter. 30 is our capacity right now at the men's shelter. So those 32 outside plus 30 inside, and then however many women and children we have at the Women and Children Shelter. It adds up quickly. So we are churning through food and beverages faster than ever before. Yeah. And it's kind of tough to keep up.
Sure.
It is, but we make it happen. Like you said, partnerships. So we received a whole lot of sweet potatoes yesterday.
Yeah.
And everybody walks through and says, what's going on with the sweet potatoes?
Yeah, for sure.
We got an extra blessing.
Yeah.
And there's been other produce that has come as a result of our connection with First United. We're just thankful. We take donations from all over. We never know when the phone will ring and someone says, "Can you use?"
Right.
Or if someone emails and says, we've collected this. Do you want it? Yes. So we know that we only have room for so many people to live in our shelters, but we always have partners. There's always someone who comes to our door, and they might even tell us, I don't think I can handle living in a shelter, but I'm hungry. And so when we get a snack bag from a church, or we get an extra pair of socks from the schools because they've had a sock drive, we have those things on hand to hand out to the people who come to our doors and say, I don't want to live here. But we don't feel right about turning them away. They're being honest. They might have a drug in their system. They might have had a bad experience at another shelter. They might have had a bad experience at Friendship.
Okay.
But if they come to our doors, we're going to do our best to take care of them. We meet people where they are.
Yeah, I love that. Y'all are on the front lines of the mission.
We are.
Right. And I've often wondered if, if hunger is the one thing that is preventable. Right. I mean, it seems like with all of us aligning in this way, if we took seriously the red letters of Jesus, specifically from this text, that we could do something about hunger. We could do something about homelessness. We can even do something about mental health concerns.
Yes.
We can do something about cycles of poverty, and we can break down stigmas that that hunger doesn't discriminate, right? And job loss doesn't discriminate. That everybody has a story.
Yes.
At the end of the day. And I wonder sometimes if that's why Jesus just put out this simple message: just some food, some clothing, some water. Give people a little bit of hope. That sometimes the way that God works in this world is through little acts of kindness. But to your point, it's not something you can do on your own as an executive director in either location.
Right.
We need to work with one another, and I know you lean on those community partnerships. So talk about the importance of community partnerships, not only for Friendship, but if we're being honest, like, the city is better when we all work together, right?
Absolutely. So people, I don't think realize how important community partnerships are. Friendship Mission would not make it every single day if we didn't have community partners. There is no way that just our staff, and even if I threw in the board of directors, there's no way we would make it. There wouldn't be enough supplies, enough money, enough just awareness. If we didn't have community partnerships. Our partners bring food, they bring manpower, new resources. Part of what we do at Friendship Mission, part of our mission is connecting our clients to resources.
Okay.
So when they come to us, they might have a car and a job, and they say, I'm going to move out quickly. But as we talk to them, we realize, oh, you could use this resource, or you can, and they don't know it.
Right.
So now we've connected you to this resource, and that's going to help you stay stable. There might be a mom who says, I'm trying to work and I can pay a babysitter. Wait, do you realize there are community partners who help with childcare? Do you realize there are community partners who help with food assistance or an ID? ID is one of the things that Friendship handles for its clients. But for instance, a man called this morning and he said, I just need somebody to help me get my ID. I don't have the $37, but I promise I'll go to work. And I was able to tell him, call Mercy House. You don't live at Friendship. If you lived at Friendship, if you need shelter, let me know.
Right.
He said, I don't need shelter. I said, then call Mercy House and call 211. And there's more resources there. So when we're able to do that, it strengthens our mission. It allows us to accomplish more. It allows us to meet new people and new partners. Sometimes you don't think you're going to meet them. You meet someone, and this person might say, "I work for this agency." Okay, we don't really need that. And then a situation comes up, and you do need them. You're looking for that website or that business card, so that you can make that connection again and help another person, help someone who thought there's no resources for me, and we can say, yes, there are. We partner with this agency. So it's very important. It literally helps us run our shelters 7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
I love that, and so much of that is founded on connection.
Yes.
Right, and trust. You know, if you get to make a recommendation to someone in need to go see this person or this group, they're trusting you.
Yes.
Right, and then when they're received, they have your name. Right, and I think that's a beautiful thing, and I do love the notion of opening our eyes and our ears from an awareness perspective, because we don't always know the resources that are available. So we talk a lot here internally about, okay, what is available for food and clothing and shelter and mental health needs and childcare and education, the ways that we get to support all those things, and a lot of times I'm just blown away by the connection points that we have as a church, and I want to do more to tighten those relationships, which is why I'm so grateful that you carved out some time to be with us, not only today for this conversation, but also in worship on Sunday, and those community relationships are so strong, and our connection with you and the church is important, not only because we get to give you sweet potatoes and stuff like that, and blessing bags and all of that, but I also want you have a platform, and your voice matters, and your calling matters. It has to be a calling, right?
Something. I'm still trying to figure it out. It's been 5 years.
Yeah,
I'm still trying to figure it out.
Right.
The voice, the awareness is so important. I can't tell you how many times I've been somewhere and someone will say, "Friendship Mission, what's that?" And it shocks me, but then it doesn't. I know that we're the small local shelter. That's how we were built. A Presbyterian pastor who said he felt that calling. He realized there was a need for a men's shelter, a place for homeless men to find refuge and food, and that's how Friendship started almost 30 years ago, and then expanded to include the Women and Children Shelter. So our mission has always been rock solid. Staying on that mission has not been difficult, but we've watched things change in society. We've watched how things just evolve, and we're still on mission. I'm thankful for that we're still on mission. For a short while, we had a thrift store.
Okay.
It came and it went.
Okay.
Yeah. And even before we had a thrift store, when we started services for women and children in 2012, it was by buying small houses. That was the shelter. Friendship owns this little house, and you and your family are going to live here until you can get on your feet. Then we bought the property that's now the Women and Children Shelter. So we've evolved, but our mission is rock solid. Right now, our difficulty is just keeping those doors open.
Okay.
That is our difficulty.
From a staffing position, financial position, all of it. Okay.
Literally all of it. We don't have enough staff. If I count myself, there are 18 of us on staff, if I count me. And some of those are administrative, very few. There's 5 administrative out of that 17. The rest are direct service staff, and even the administrative employees handle direct service. If our development manager has to, she will pick up a crying baby.
Mm-hmm.
She's headed out the door at 5 o'clock, and she's like, I can't. He is screaming.
Yeah.
And the mother's at her wits, and I'm on the phone. And that is our team at Friendship. We are small but mighty, but we
Okay.
know we need more staff.
Okay.
We know that we need more cash.
Mm-hmm.
In the past 2 months, and I can go back further than that, we have had some horrific plumbing issues.
Mm.
Just unexpected, but we're operating out of 2 old buildings.
Right.
One is very, very old. So all of that, those emergency maintenance occurrences have just destroyed our budget. We are this holiday season, our year-end letter says, save our shelters.
Wow.
So that is our prayer right now, that people will understand we need unrestricted cash just to keep our doors open.
Okay.
At one point earlier this year, there was talk of expanding because we need more beds in the city.
Yeah.
We are sorely short on beds for those who are homeless. And we have room at both of our locations to expand. At the Women and Children's Shelter, we actually have buildings that need renovation. Once they're renovated, we can put people in those buildings, but of course that's going to cost because of staffing, because more utilities. So today, we're not even concentrating on the existing buildings that could be renovated. We're trying to keep our current doors open.
Okay.
So unrestricted cash.
Yeah.
We receive a lot of in-kind donations like sweet potatoes,
Yeah.
and we will put those to
Right.
use.
Right.
We use in-kind donations every day. Pine-Sol, anything that will disinfect.
Right.
This is a shelter,
Mm-hmm.
right? We're running 2 shelters. It's a congregate setting, close quarters, lots of germs.
Yeah.
So at this time of the year, we always ask for more Lysol, more Pine-Sol.
Right.
Through the pandemic, had it not been for community partners, we wouldn't have made it.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking up recipes for homemade Lysol. That's how our supply went low. When COVID first hit, we thought everybody's going crazy looking for Lysol. We're set for life, right? No. Our supply started to go down, and community partners would just drop stuff at the door. First United Methodist would pull up and say, I'm outside. And that's what got us through the pandemic. And in the wake of COVID, the pandemic is officially over, but Friendship is still operating in crisis mode, not just because of finances,
Mm-hmm.
but just because we've been hit so hard.
Mm-hmm.
We are the last shelter offering its full bed availability.
Right.
Every bed that we have is open for those who need shelter. At the moment, they're not available.
Right.
We're full. But every bed that we have in our buildings is being used. And so that plus inflation,
Mm-hmm.
just those things have caused, they've taken a toll.
Yeah.
Our building's being used every single day, 24 hours a day. People don't leave Friendship. When they come in to shelter, they have up to 12 months. Some don't take a full 12 months. But in that time that they are there, they're using the facilities. The kitchen is being used. The food is being eaten. All of those things. And you have to replenish. You have to replace because
Right.
things get worn out. So that's...
And then when one variable interjects itself, you have to stop leaking pipes. And
Yes.
you have to deal with unexpected things, and those are tough, right? Because it feels like it's pulling you from your mission. You're having to spend resources in this area to fix this thing so the mission can continue,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
And at the same time, you need all those resources allocated to the actual mission.
Yes.
But it's all part of the same mission, and I just appreciate your vulnerability with that, your honesty with that, because in the wake of COVID, so many of us we went back to our lives, and became active and people traveled and did all these different things. And all of a
Yes.
sudden the mission continues. The mission continues. The
Mission.
mission is every single day.
Mhm.
People who are hungry every day.
Every day.
People who are, need clothes need it every day and need water and they need medical help
Yes.
every day. The
Every
needs
day.
don't stop.
Not just Thanksgiving, not just Christmas.
Right.
It is every single day.
Yeah.
And when you are homeless, life does not stop. You still may get a bad diagnosis from the doctor. Your loved ones might pass away. The IRS is still looking for you. The bill collectors are still looking for you. Your car may be repossessed. We've had all of that happen while people have lived in shelter. People have needed major surgeries. The U.S. Marshals are looking for you.
Right.
I mean, you name it.
It's real life.
We've seen it.
Yeah.
Life doesn't stop just because you're homeless. It's pretty rough for people. So yes, there are people who have lived in generational poverty, and so maybe in their mind this is just life. But we work really hard to tell them this is not how your story is going to end. Like, we're really trying to work with you to get you on your feet, to connect you where you need to be connected so that you can stabilize your life and find a home that's appropriate for you. That is important. Not everyone is going to make it in a 4-bedroom house.
Right.
Some people need a 2-bedroom apartment or a 1-bedroom apartment, and they have to learn that this is how I maintain my world. So we offer life skills classes, financial literacy, parenting, nutrition, health courses. But, this is how you navigate life. And so those are very important to friendship. We have Bible studies for those who are interested, and just people who come by and give a word of encouragement sometimes. We have one volunteer, a longtime volunteer, and during COVID we closed our doors to volunteers, but we had some who would just drop stuff off. Eventually, once vaccines came out and the world was a little more stable, I looked up one day and noticed there was a volunteer. And I said, "What are you doing here?" And she said, "You can't kick me out. I have a plan." She said, "I have a plan." She said, "I'm vaccinated. I have my mask on, and I have to tell the good news." So I've claimed a bulletin board back by the laundry room, and I'm going to put up a bulletin board that's the Bible study.
Wow.
So when the ladies are doing their laundry, they can't help but see it.
I have to see it.
And so that has continued.
I love that.
She has come back in person to teach Bible studies for those who are interested, but she always puts up the bulletin board because she said on weeks that I can't get here, I know they're going to see it.
I see it.
Yeah.
Love that.
So the way we stay on mission, the how is because of community partners.
Yeah. And I love that so much. I mean, with all the challenges that are involved in any kind of ministry, really, any kind of aligning oneself or one's organization with Matthew 25 in this case, it's tough. At the same time, we get to see lives changed, right? And if you get to see one life changed, I say that a lot. How do you change the world one life at a time, right? So, my assumption is you really do have a front row seat to seeing lives changed. Anything come to mind? Any particular
Absolutely.
story?
There are so many.
Yeah.
So recently, Subaru of America was at Friendship Mission filming a commercial and a video documentary on homelessness. And that's a whole story by itself. But in that, they said, "Tara, who can we talk to?" Well, any of your current residents or former residents, talk to us. And I found 3 ladies who said, "I'll do it." And one, she and her son were with us twice. The second time I said, "This is it. You have to get it right this time." And she has. in her journey through homelessness that second time, she was baptized. She got sober. She has maintained her apartment for 2 years. Her son is now a school mascot, and he hated school before. He wanted nothing to do with school ever. He has gotten into a program that allows him to go to school and work, do some work that he wants to do. He's always wanted to be outdoors on a farm and doing hard work like that, and he gets to do it. So he feels better about school. She feels better as a mom. There's a nice roof over their head. There's another mom who moved out about 2 years ago, and she and her 2 children have a house. She has a job, and she's receiving federal benefits being on that job. The story with her is really close to home. In COVID, we lost our case manager to COVID. And so residents started coming to me to catch me up on what they were doing. And she came to me and said, I know you know a little bit, but I'm going to tell you some more. And I'm finishing this online program. And she was down to the last few weeks. And she realized this is kind of a scam. So she said, I need a real job. And I said, you do. And we started looking for her a job. So she said, well, I have a resume kind of put together. Can I send it to you? So she did. And that's the day I realized that we graduated from Alabama State University on the same day. So I said, we've got to fix this. And I started just looking everywhere for jobs for her and for other residents. And she ended up landing a job on her own at Maxwell Air Force Base. So then, like all the blessings aligned, and she found a house, and a woman who had donated to us during the pandemic from her business called. She emailed me, and she said, don't know if you remember me, but I donated some food, and now I have lots of furniture. My best friend made me the executor of her estate, and she has passed, and I need to get rid of all of this furniture. And I was like, really?
Yeah.
So now we have a mom who has a house to move into, but no furniture, no sheets, no towels, no nothing. And this other woman said, have at it.
Wow.
She said it's a 3-bedroom house. Our resident needed 3 beds. She said all the sheets, all the comforters, take them. There were dishes and pots and pans and everything that you need to set up a house. So, you know, those are our success stories. We have people, even if it's a man in a 1-bedroom apartment, he's our success story. He's moved out, he's connected to his benefits at the VA, perhaps because maybe he served our country, or he's been connected to the disability income that he's due.
Right.
That's the work of our case managers.
Right.
And now he's found, his family has said, wait, come home. You know, we didn't mean for it to go this far. Reconnections with families, better relationships. It's all the work that we do. And it's just amazing to watch it. Because sometimes our residents will help bring a donation in. And so donors get to know faces if they don't know the whole story. And then after a while, they'll say, well, wait, where's that guy that's always helping us? Well, he's moved on. He's moved into an apartment of his own.
Right.
It's been a beautiful thing. It's hard. There are hard days. But it's been a really beautiful thing to watch people get on their feet and stay there. And sometimes residents come back and they say, hey, I just want to stop by and give you a hug. Like, those are the really good moments, you know.
For sure.
But yeah, that's Friendship Mission. every single day.
Every day.
Every day.
Front lines every day. I want to affirm the mission of Friendship Mission. Thank you for all of your hard work and your whole team. And I want to say thanks on behalf of this church for allowing us to be partnered with you in several different ways, and for giving your time now to let us know how we can be a better neighbor. I met with, back in 2019, shortly after I was appointed here, several of us met with Dr. Ross over at ASU, and I wanted to ask him a simple question. We're just a few blocks from ASU in Huntington. We sit between two colleges, and we love that. We have interns from both. But I asked Dr. Ross, I said, how can we be a better neighbor? And he gave us this choice line, which is why our staff visited you a few weeks ago, months ago. He said, Pastor, you got to go to know, right?
Yes.
If you want to know how to be a better neighbor, you have to go and to learn. And so thank you for allowing us into your house, and thank you for coming into our house with this interview and this coming Sunday and sharing a little bit more of that. The other thing I want to say is how grateful I am that at Friendship you invest in the whole person. Like, you're interested in changing someone's story. Mind, body, soul relationships. And when we do that together, as a church, as with your organization, and as a city, then we begin to see true transformation.
Absolutely.
And that's exciting to me. That is exciting. I think it was Pope Francis that said, when you pray for someone who's hungry, you become an answer to that prayer because you show up and you give them some bread, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if we want to know how to align ourselves with the mission of Christ, we show up and we do the work. So thank you for allowing us to do that together with you, and for this time that we've had today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
As you can tell, Tara is one of a kind. She's the best, and we're so grateful for the partnership that we have with her. You'll hear more from her this coming Sunday in worship at 10 a.m., and I hope you'll be there in person or online. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on our website or on Facebook, or WSFA will be live there as well. We are on mission, and this week our focus is leaning into those words of Jesus. What have you done to give food to the hungry, water to the thirsty, clothe those who need help there, and welcome the stranger into your midst, and have visited those who need a little bit of extra care? When you've done it under the least of these, you've done it unto Jesus himself. So Tara, thank you for being the hands and feet of Christ.
Thank you.
Great. God bless. We'll see you Sunday.